Right, hello, good morning. So I'm pumped today. I think a little bit tired, but pumped. Cause it's working. Like I find this really interesting. Like we have a very like concise minimal implementation, and it's actually able to do things predictably. Um, so we definitely leveled up on how to potentially implement an agent, like the scope of that agent, what it should be able to do. That's another question. Like this agent is scoped to contribute to existing code bases. It's not scoped to like just be this general agent that has access to everything, like installing dependencies and searching the web and all of that stuff. I'm actually like it's an open question still if that is like it's kind of like ChatGPT. It's very general purpose and it can do a lot of things, but it doesn't do each domain specific thing very well, right? And the same thing might be true for agents. So you don't want these general purpose agents. You want them to be scoped to specific things or specific domains. So for example, here we're scoped to JavaScript, TypeScript, and the ecosystem around it, which ties into how we do dependency management and all that stuff. So what we have now is the code rag and the dependency rag, and they're working. But I want to make an improvement to the code rag, which is basically, let's see if we can zoom in somewhere here. So the way that currently works is that you have like your file structure and you have like your sources folder here. And then in that sources folder, you have like app.tsx, app CSS, and so on. And what we're currently doing for the code rag now is that we're making summaries of what's in these files. We don't create embeddings for the actual contents, the functions and the variables and all of that stuff, because that doesn't. I don't think that makes any sense. Because what you want this rag to do is to have a conceptual understanding of your code base and understand. It basically is there to find relevant files and folders based on a query. Because when you have relevant files and folders, you have the ability to go in and actually read those files if you want to make code changes to them. But it can also just answer questions about the code base, which is important to figure out. Like you just have this prompt of making a change. So by asking a question to the code rag, you can ask about, does this functionality already exist? Which you could do if you had like actual code embeddings as well. But it would be much harder for it to figure that out because it would be like a bunch of functions and variables instead of these summaries conceptually describing what's in the app. And a thing yeah, but that's like and it makes the embeddings much smaller. Like these summaries are much smaller than actual like code embeddings. And at the end of the day, you can't really efficiently do code embeddings. Like you have things like chunk parsers for JavaScript, and you have for HTML, but you don't have for JSX, for example. And then you have TypeScript. How do you chunk that? Like it gets much more complicated, and so embedding actual code comes more into play when you actually want to ask about specific functions and variables and stuff. But we don't want that. We don't care about specific functions and variables. We only care about them when we actually intend to go in and update some code, where we only need like the path to the file that we're going to change, or the path to the folder where we intend to add a file or delete a file. But so that's the kind of the argument for that. But what we don't do now, we don't create a summary of the folders. And I think that's, so creating summaries of each file is good for asking about like what's already in there, and what files are relevant for making changes. But what about adding new stuff? So if you want to add something new, it's important, like, so in your mind, when you think about the file tree of your project, it's not, you don't only have like conceptual summaries of each file, right? You also have conceptual summaries of each folder. So I want to do that. I want to create these summaries also for folders, which is basically a summary of the summaries. And I think that's important because we have that, and that makes us, and we're pretty good at evaluating where to implement something. So we're going to try that. Now, the tricky thing about this is how do we keep that up to date? So to keep a file summary up to date, we simply have to watch the file system, and when that file changes, we can go and create a new summary for it. But what if a file changes in a folder, which always happens, right? So if we change a file in a folder, we have to go to the folder and change its summary. But that summary should be based on all the files in that folder. So we have to create summaries for all the files again, like at least as a brute implementation. And then what if it's a subfolder? Then you have to go up to the parent folder, and we have to go and summarize again with the actual subfolder summary and any other subfolders or summaries in that tree. So there has to be a more efficient way to update this. And I'm not sure if I want to think about that now. That's a problem for later. That's like a production problem. It's not a testing problem. So I kind of want to just implement this now because we don't actually handle updates to the code base now. We just tried like these single shot prompts and see how capable it is. And then we kind of reset the state of the test project every time. But yeah, just to entertain the thought. So let's imagine, okay, so how would we be able to efficiently update the summary of, so what we have in the, what we currently have in each document. So these are basically each of the files has their own summary document. And we are able to retrieve the document metadata, and each document is, the ID of each document is the file path. So if there's an update to a file, we would be able to like go in and grab the summary. Yeah, so what I think like the efficient way to do this would be, okay, so we make an update to app.tsx. We'll create a new summary for it. We'll update the m time, the modified time of that file. And then okay, just to continue that, we update the m time, and then we go up to the parent folder. We say create summary. It goes and reads all the documents, child documents, and then it looks at the m time. Has that m time like changed? No, it doesn't even need to do that. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. So yeah, okay. So this is the interesting thing. Okay, sorry. So maybe it is efficient. So whenever we change a file, we'll update the summary of that file. But then what we'll also do is that we tell the parent that it needs to create a new summary. And the way it does that is it just looks at its children, and then you can just grab the document as is from the embeddings store. It doesn't have to generate it again, because we already generated the summary. Yeah. Okay, so that's good. The problem though is, how does it know? How would it know if it's a subfolder? Well, that's the thing. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, we're gonna jump into some code. So we have this traverse tree. And the way traverse tree works is that it's based on just some file paths. Yeah, this is gonna work. So you just have some file paths that changed. So if we changed, so let's imagine we only changed this thing, this single file. So what's gonna happen is it's gonna create a summary of this one, and then it's gonna go up to the subfolder, which is wait a minute, this isn't the latest code. What the hell? Oh, it is. Sorry, I forgot to rename these. Sorry. So the way this works is that we have a callback for basically creating the summary for each file, and then we have a callback when it jumps up to a folder. So if we have this only this path, we'll first it will hit this file. It calls the result callback, which generate the summary, and then it jumps up to the sorry, this here, it generates the summary. I'm gonna rename this. File visit callback. And this is directory visit callback. It generates the summary, and then it gets up here. And here we can generate the summary for the directory. And then it will just continue to do that. So it should then jump up to the next one and generate the summary there. Now, the thing is, what we get in the results here is only the changed things. So we would still need to go in and read the directory to get the path for the other files. So there might be other files that changed inside that didn't change, but that exists inside subfolder that we would also need. But I think that's fine. That's an implementation detail of the directory visit callback to read those files, or read. It needs to read the folder and then use those paths to get the summaries from the document store. And then, okay, we're not going to implement that right now. Now we're just going to have the initial. So it will have all the file paths, right? So we're going to visit everything. But then at least we have some idea on how we're going to approach actually keeping this up to date. Okay, cool. Let's see what's happening here now. Oh, there we go. So yeah, so I was just looking at the result there. So I need to let's see. So let's call this directory. Oh, let's see. Let's return. Sorry. I had a little bit of directory, and this should also have a path, by the way. We're gonna fix that. So that's the path to the directory, and then we're gonna like create the summary of these things. So this will be file. We don't actually need to. Yeah, that's to uppercase or something. Okay, so the summary of each file is the uppercase of the file path. But let's go in and actually. So we're gonna give this one the path, because this is the path to the actual directory. So now there should be like a node.path. Let's see how this looks like now. So now we have, let's look at, what the hell happened now? Traverse tree. What's wrong here? Oh. Sorry, what were we doing? Yeah, I wanted to look at the actual, the summary, so we kind of see it in better. Yeah, exactly. Directory. Okay, so there's still something wrong here. So we need to fix this. Oh, is it just because file folder 1? How do you expect this output? Oh my god. I think I'm gonna get confused by this. So let's do this. So what is it actually doing now? It's, you know what, we need to simplify this. First, let's just do a file. We can handle that. So directory here is just an empty string. It's the root, which is fine. And then we say file. So what should happen now is that if I add a directory here, it should show. Yeah, it shouldn't show. Oh, I think I see the problem. We shouldn't say path, or we should just say path. Okay, let's try this, just so I make more sense out of this. I'm confused. What does this output mean? How does it traverse this? I think it does it correctly. It's just I'm getting confused by the result. You know what we're gonna do? We're not gonna log this. We're gonna, I don't think this makes any sense. And we don't really care about the final result. We care about what happens in each directory path results. Return. Whatever. Like, we don't really care about what we're returning here. And then we're gonna do set timeout file, and then file path. Like, it doesn't matter what we do there. So what should happen here? It should say file, directory source. Oh, but it visits. That should hold that thing. That makes sense. Why does it visit the directory twice? That's weird. Uh, so what we get here is it has, god damn it. This stuff, this is like for me working with math. My head gets completely stuck. Like I think my mind is more designed for abstract, complex thinking. And when it gets very concrete like this, like how does it actually move up this traversal thing and how does that relate to the code is very, very specific. My mind isn't like, it's very detailed. My mind is pretty bad at handling that. What's happening now is that it's hitting the file callback. And well, no, not really. So this is the complicated part. So we're passing in root, and that's not a file, that's a folder. So it generates, yeah, sorry. And then it goes in and tries to create summaries for the root. But as part of that, it's going through each child where it calls traverse up to root. Yeah, it's kind of weird name, isn't it? It's kind of opposite. Like the traversal up to root is happening because we're awaiting downwards traversal. Let's just call this traverse. So what we're doing here is that we're traversing, and what was yeah. So we're traversing, and then we're finding a file. And then we're returning a path and a summary for that file. And then it kind of goes back up here to the map. It resolves the map. It calls directory callback. With the summaries. And then it gets back to... Why does it call it twice? That doesn't make any sense to me. It should call it once. Calling. Is this just a... Wait a minute, let me detach this. I don't trust this console. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's weird. Sometimes it double logs. I should report that. I'm gonna report that. I'm gonna take a picture and we're gonna report that. Okay, so it didn't do that. Wow, that's scary. Why does it log twice? That makes it hard to debug stuff. Okay, so it does what we want it to. Let's close this. It hits file, calling source, and directory source, calling directory. And then let us add another subfolder here. So now it should file, it summarizes subfolder, then it summarizes source, and then it summarizes directory. So if we were to add another file path here, which would be like source subfolder file 2 txt, we would also have like source file 1 txt. Okay, let's reason about the path now. I could write a test for this. So it starts with file 2, which is fine. Then it takes file 4, which is good. Then it summarizes the subfolder. Then it summarizes file 1. And then we get the subfolder and file 1 in directory source. And then in the source, we get the path source with the summary of source. Great. So this is exactly how we want it to work. So we're gonna shove that into our code rag. Let's see. I think maybe we should make this a folder now. It's getting pretty big. Do we already have? Yeah. Let's create a folder for it. Code rag. And then I'm gonna move that in there. Yes, move. And I'm gonna rename this. I'm not sure. Is VS Code able to always update imports? Yeah, so it wasn't like perfect here. Yeah, that didn't work too well, did it? Oh yeah, it's this damn my damn build step. Trying to get Node to run with TypeScript, it's just insane. And the handle cross-common JS and ESM dependencies, it's just, yeah, we're not going there. Okay, so now we have the code rag in some folders. So now we're gonna create this traversal thing. So I think we should just call it traverse paths. Yeah, let's just call it that. And then we don't need this stuff. So what's like not perfectly clean here is that we're doing side effects in these callbacks, but that's we have to do that, so that's fine. Yeah, it's interesting. It's almost like we don't really need the results there. In terms of updates, we don't really need the results. And the reason is that these results will only be based on what's actually changed. But to create a summary of a folder, we need to read the summaries of all the documents from that path. So maybe we should just drop that. So we already implement that it will need to actually retrieve the summaries from the document store or the vector store. Yeah, let's just do that. So we're just going to take the path here. And we don't actually need to provide those summaries. We'll just await it so that when it visits the files, it will insert the summary into our vector store so that when we await that and we go to the directory, it's already updated, so we can read it again. And it's kind of Yeah, I think that makes most sense. Let's try it. So, oh, that's a lot of stuff. Get ignored globes. So we're gonna import traverse from, and I guess we need to do traverse paths. Oh, it even understands that it should. Nice. Yes. So what's interesting here is that now we have, yeah, this is going to be interesting. Okay. So here we get all the file paths that we're going to embed. So this is the initializer. So what we need to do if we don't have a vector store. So as I said, we're not going to do the update logic. We're kind of just preparing for it. Let me just see. Yeah. So what we're going to do is change this one. So this is where we actually go and yeah, this is really where we would go and validate if we actually, yeah, why do we do this? Yeah, I'm not sure. But we're going to change this logic. So it's not going to be like just evaluated files and just map over them. We're actually doing this traversal now. This is going to be interesting. So the result of this is that it's going to be a bunch of oh, this is going to be I wonder, because what we're doing here is that we're producing these documents, but does that document include, yeah, get content. And we have its ID. Or should we keep the results there? So we can choose if we want to just use the results. Like this will be two different implementations regardless. You know what? Let's keep it's going to simplify. So we're going to keep the summaries. So that we have those as we evaluate. So let's just call traverse here with files to embed. So this is a list of all files in the project. And then we're going to do this and this. And this is going to give us, now I can't remember which is which. Wait, don't you have some, oh, what's it called? Traverse tree. So this would be, yeah, the file callback, and then that will be just file path. And then we have async directory path and results. So what we're going to do here is do a little bit of refactor. So we don't really care about this anymore. Let's not add like the M time and stuff. We can rather add that when we actually implement updates. So, and then the documents is going to be, oh, wait a minute. There's another issue with this. Oh, yeah. So what we're going to do, we're going to say documents will be document. We're just going to push them into the documents. And this is where we actually create. Oh yeah, and this is going to be nice now because now the queue actually returns a promise. So we can wait for that. Oh, this is interesting because now we don't, yeah, maybe we don't. Well, okay, let's still have a queue. So the thing is, like, when you're in a folder, you have a bunch of files, and we're gonna add those to a queue. So we only handle one file at a time, and this is for rate limiting reasons. But you can probably like do a lot of parallel stuff. So this serial queue is going to be changed into a different kind of queue. But for now, let's just keep it. Because the traversal doesn't care. It just takes, like, it's a promise all. So it will just like fire each file in like parallel. So where the hell is my, there it is. So what we're gonna do is just grab that thing, and then we're gonna do this, and then we're still gonna have our queue, but we're gonna create a function here. I think we're just gonna create it here, function get summary, or create document, and then file path string. Yeah, because that's all we need. So let's just return. Let's just return this for now, and then let's remove this. Yeah, and this is interesting because now we're gonna create two different kinds of documents. One is a file document, another is a directory document. So yeah, so now we don't need like new promise here. Now we can actually use queue add. I think. We can just return, but we're actually not going to return the document itself. We're going to push that into documents, and then we're going to return like the file path and the summary. That's what we're going to return. Yeah. Okay. You have to excuse me. So document equals await. Yeah, so let's return. You know what? This is going to be, we already have, this is going to be the summary. So this will be the file path. So what's going to happen here is that we're going to say create document. Maybe we should call it create file document. Does that matter? No, I don't think it matters. Does it matter? Yeah, it matters. Yeah, because we're going to insert this metadata into the summary, and that needs to be type of file or directory. Maybe we could just give it a type. So we say path shit. Entry path. And then type would be file or directory. I don't think we care about anything else. It's just a summary. File or directory. And then we're gonna say path here. So that will be like entry path. And then we're gonna say type. And that would be the actual type, but I think those should be in. I think that's the funny thing about LLMs, right? You don't have to be structurally correct. Like, we can just say file here. It doesn't have to be in quotes because we're never going to parse this and use it for anything. But let's just do it. And this would be the entry path. And this will be the entry path. M time, we don't care about that. Didn't we have type? Oh, that's the, oh, sorry. Damn it. Maybe we should separate file and directory. Maybe we should. Because we also, when we have a file, we go and grab the type, index type, code extensions. Do we care about that? I don't think we really do. Yeah, okay. I don't think we care about that because we have the, where do we go? Because we already have, like, we have the file path. So if for some reason we would need to filter anything, I don't see any reason to filter on specific files. So we're going to remove that. And now we have our type here. Oh. Expected. Oh. Where did all my commas go? Okay. And we're going to change back to GPT 3.5 Turbo because I want this to be, like GPT 3.5 is really good at summarizing things. It's not good at like, as an agent, it's not capable of doing like a lot of function calling and kind of reasoning. But it's really good at summarizing things. So, and you don't want these summaries to be like GPT for Omni is more by default, it's more verbose. While GPT 3.5 is not verbose by default. You have to kind of push it to be less verbose. We're going to try to do that. So we're just going to produce. Yeah, oh, of course. And then. Oh, wait a minute. No, we have to create two different functions. Because one of them is reading file contents and the other one is just passing in a list of summaries. So create file document, and then we have async function create directory document. So let's just call it file path. We don't need to give it a type, and then we're gonna have directory path. That excuse me for not uppercasing. This is the most tense variable name, file path without uppercase P. I've seen it so many times. But then you have directory path. You want uppercase P, right? That feels very intuitive, but yeah, whatever. And here we have the summaries that we're actually gonna base this directory summary on. So let's just move this first up to create file document. So we're gonna make this a bit more. So we're adding to the queue that we're reading the file, and then we are asking, this is the code of a file. Please give me a summary of what this file does. Yeah, so the prompt is even different. This will be file path, and this will be, we can just say that it's a file. You know what? We're gonna do this file. And then this is the file path, and type is file. Okay. You know what? I want to do this for some reason. I want to do this. Let's see. And let's just remove this because now we can just return the new document. or we're going to push it. That's the thing we're going to do. And then we're going to return. So documents, push document. And then we're going to return this expected output of the visitor, which is path, file path, and summary. Oh, didn't I? What the hell? The value is never read? Oh, sorry. Excuse me. But we can do some things here. So let's move this into its own function. Get summary. Let's just send a prompt. Return summary. And let's move this into prompt. And now we can say const summary equals get await get summary. Now we have the prompt like that. Resolved file. So we give that summary. We push this. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. Oh, wait a minute. And then, sorry. So we're going to push the document in from the queue, but then we're going to return path and summary when the queue item has resolved. Okay. So what we should be able to do now is when we visit, we should actually be able to do this, shouldn't we? What's summary void? Oh, I have a bug in my queue. Return promise. Oh, queue item. Oh, doesn't it? I'm confused. So my queue item, what doesn't it infer? Oh, let's get summary. Create file document. Why does it say void? Oh, sorry. This is complicated. Now it's happy. No. Type path. Yeah, or null. Okay, so the thing is when we get this thing, that can be null for some reason. So if no, okay, what we're gonna do is summary or missing summary. And let's just track this. If no error, no summary for file path. Was it file path? Oh, for prompt. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so now we have a create file document. God damn it, are you still not happy? Oh, why does it say it should be a string? Didn't we say that it should be a result? Oh, wait a minute. No, of course. Sorry. So, so the visit callback is a string. Oh, they're both a string. Sorry. My bad. Create file document. Yeah, so we can actually just return this queued item. Cool. Now, let's see. Now we're going to do the same for the directory path. But now we're not going to read anything. We're just gonna get the summary. This is a list of summaries. So we don't need this. Maybe we can just do, yeah, summaries. Oh my god, something like that. Please give me a summary of all summaries. That's basically what we want. And this should be a directory path, type directory. This is directory path. And this is directory. Cool. Resolved directory. We push that document. And then we return that summary. And that goes into the rest of the things. Okay. And then we have create directory document. So that will be return directory. Exactly. Oh, I hate that it's trained on single letter variables. That says so much about how lazy we are as programmers. It's not getting that from my code. I'm not saying I'm like a better programmer because I have explicit variable names, but I guess that ties into, like, as I mentioned, the way my mind works. I'm very like high level conceptual thinking all the time. It's when it gets down to the nitty gritty details that I start struggling. Yeah, I'm really impressed with people are able to do both. Well, I do manage, right? We're getting through it, but it's like, I don't think you're like equally capable of both. Is used. That was a weird thing to say. Oh. That was a weird error. Okay, so I think we are ready to test this. So in theory now we have this, oh, let's reset our test project. Database details. Yes, this is irreversible. That's fine. Oh, is this? Oh, is this just broken? Kill terminal. Nice. So what should happen now is that we actually get a summary for each of these files. Like there's some, like it handles git ignore. It ignores like certain types of files, like log files. And this is also important, right? Talking about the scope of an agent. If an agent doesn't know about like, I don't mean the agent, I mean the tooling doesn't have a sense of, like, if you're gonna create augmented retrieval for code, you don't want that log files to be part of that. So how do you implement that without like this RAG tool being aware of what kind of project it is, which also ties into what the agent can expect from it. Like the RAG tool is domain specific. So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Okay, so what we need to do now, I'm just gonna delete the code embeddings, and then we're gonna try to run it and see it probably break the first time. Cannot access queue. Oh, sorry. I forgot to move the, we need that queue up here. So we have a queue and we have documents. Let's see. No new depend. Resolve file. The file is a vite. This file is an HTML document. Oh, this is weird, right? This is weird. It. Oh. What did it do with my? You know what we're gonna do? Let's remove code embeddings. Let's look at files to embed first. Throw new error food console.log JSON stringify files to embed. So we're gonna copy that over into our other implementation, just see if it even works. Oh, it actually generated the code embeddings again. So for some reason you saw that it started resolving like root files. That's weird. It shouldn't do that. It should wait for the other ones. Oh, maybe that's the thing. We didn't test having root files. Where are you? Okay. Let's see. We're gonna... Oh, get away from me. We are gonna... Oh, can I put these next to each other? Ah, this sucks. That's why I love... let's put this into... Just 2 seconds. I'm just gonna make sure I don't share anything I shouldn't. Let's... and then we're gonna do this. I'm gonna change it back shortly. Okay, here we go. 2 seconds. There we go. This is why I use Arc. It's an amazing feature. Our console here. Let's zoom in a little bit. Oh, a bit. So, okay, so you see here it's taking those files. So that's wrong. Traverse tree. So we are going through... Okay, so we're basically saying if... Oh, yeah, so this is just wrong. We need to go in and do the opposite. We need to say if it's a directory, then go and do this stuff. So we should always do the direct. Wait a minute, does it matter? No, I don't think it matters. So what did it do? It's fine that it goes in and resolves vite and yeah, because it like that's the thing. Like if it resolves vite, that like the source folder doesn't depend on vite, right? So it's just fine that it resolves that, but it will wait for the source folder to resolve before it resolves the root. Well, what's interesting here is that but why did it go wrong on vite env? Why did it go wrong on vite env? That's another thing. Because it said source vite env. Ah, damn it. I'm not giving the full file path. Okay, so I guess that's the problem then. So when we look at this, you see that it doesn't give the full file path. We want the full file path. So we only want to split it up, creating the tree. Yeah, so what the hell? Where does it create the node? Yeah, so this shouldn't be part. This should actually be the path, right? And it's the same here. This should be the path. Let's see now. There we go. Interesting. Directory should not be so the directory should be, wait a minute. It should be the parts. No, wait a minute. It should be the it should be the parts up to this point. So it should be parts dot slice 0 to x and join with slash. Something like that. Look at me going nitty gritty. Okay, so I definitely did something wrong. So x plus 1 or something. You know, that's how we do it. We just try something. File. Yeah, source assets, directory public, and then root. Now the thing is, we don't actually want to handle a summary of the root. That's another thing. Or should we do that? I guess we can do that, but it should be like slash. Or nothing. I don't think it matters. Though the ID will be an empty string, which is weird. Maybe we should make it dot or something. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, what is, so it needs to have an ID, but it can have like a special, like $sign root or something. But I think it can't be an empty string. That's probably something we need to handle. Anyways, let's go in and insert our traverse paths update. So this was just export traverse tree. Okay, so let's go and fix. So let's drop this one. What we have to make sure of when we create a directory, or like root. Why do you add that? Or should it be like dot? That's also weird ID. We're gonna call it root. Why do you do that? Let's see. Okay, let's try again. So this is a Vite configuration file. This file is an HTML document, likely a TypeScript file that includes a reference to the Vite client. Okay, you see it's very condensed. Like it might be, yeah, the summary of all summaries is that the file is an SVG. Wait a minute. Oh, interesting. Which directory was that? Oh, yeah. It's the React thing. Oh, we should probably be more explicit about what it's summarizing. Let's change this. Let's see. This is a list of file summaries. Please give me a summary of all files. cool. And I think we can like, no, it probably understands this. But yeah, I guess you haven't seen the previous summaries, but they are like way more verbose. And I'm not sure how verbose they need to be. It's really like the intention is just to find files by relevancy. But okay, let's try again. Yeah, let's let it finish and then we can read some of them. Sorry if this is small, but let's see. The files consists of various SVG images representing logos. Each logo is made up of different shapes. That's good. The files consist. Okay, we're gonna be this is a list of file summaries in a directory. Turn off in this directory. It's like the wording is a little bit weird. Yeah, okay, we're gonna fuck it. Let's just do it again. So this is so interesting. Like we think about prompt engineering, but this is a good example of how prompt engineering is completely irrelevant if you don't have good sources for data. So here the engineering is like, how do we best conceptualize a code base? And more explicitly, how do we best summarize the conceptual meaning of a file and a directory and so on? Oh yeah, I guess this is the root. Funny how it made like a list out of it. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Oh, it actually summarizes. Yeah, I guess it's fine that you create a list. It doesn't matter. Like, it just needs words that has to do with the contents. Okay, cool. We're gonna try using this, and what were we gonna do now? I think we're just gonna play around with this. What was the next thing? I think it is actually making it update. Because the thing is, it's a bit like, I'm gonna demo this tomorrow, but we kind of can only do single prompts because it doesn't update the code rag currently. So so you can only make a prompt reset to kind of, but that's fine. Okay, cool. I'm just gonna clear the thingy. So now we have all our rags running. So maybe we can try to do something. So let's one thing I'm curious about is that I'm instructing it to use the dependency rag. But sometimes you can do things without the dependency rag. So I don't have a good idea. So maybe, okay, so maybe we should try to remove something, right? I haven't given it the capability actually to remove files. It only has the capability to write files now, but we can also remove files. But I only really want to see the counter on the page. Yeah, I wonder what it's going to do with that. And the point there is that we the current implementation of the app file includes not only account but also Vita. Yeah, you will need to modify. Yeah, so this is interesting. Like it calls the dependency rag tool to write a guide on how to do this. I wonder what it comes up with. So we can change that instruction so that it evaluates. Yeah, this is interesting. Like, how would it know if it needs a dependency to do this or not? Like, it's inherently in this. Yeah, so it would create a guide to actually implement the counter. Yeah, let's just see what the end result of that has been updated to display only the counter on all other elements such as logos, titles, and additional text have been removed. The app text file now contains only the counter, and the app CSS file has been cleaned up to remove styles related to that's really impressive. Yeah, it only has the counter, and I guess it's cleaned up the related CSS. That's really cool. It didn't need to create a guide for this. Which is the funny thing here. Like our dependency rag, the way we use that is that we ask it to basically generate articles on how you would generally implement something using the dependencies. And then that is being used as context for actually applying something to the code base. It's really funny and efficient as far as I've tested. But it's interesting how in this case it didn't need to have a guide, and it understood that even though it wrote the guide. But maybe that's something we can make it evaluate. Yeah. So if the suggested change does not exist, evaluate querying the dependency rag tool in the format of. Okay, if the and it is a new implementation, query the dependency rag tool. Like this is how well does it? But this is the thing. This is the power of the model. Like, how good is the model at reasoning about this prompt that I'm giving? Is it how will the LLM handle this? Does this suggested change already exist in the code? How well is it at interpreting that, the meaning of that? And again, it will respond with something. And how well is it at interpreting that being non-existing, which is, it's very good at that because it literally says if it's existing or not. But does it understand that it's a new implementation as opposed to removing something like we did now? But I would argue that's like a model kind of thing. And then you can see we also query the code rag tool again in the format of list the file paths that would be, list the files and directories that would be affected by the following change. Read any affected files and write the suggested changes to the code base. Respond with a short summary of the changes without code reference. And what did it say at the end? The code base has been updated to display only the counter on the page. All other, I guess I said that. So this is this is awesome. So let's but like you, if you haven't seen any of this before, you might say, oh, but like this is very simple stuff. And yeah, it is very simple stuff. um but we're not primarily trying to create like this amazing agent. We kind of concluded that it's not enough to have an LLM and do prompt engineering. That is not enough to create an efficient coding agent. It's amazing how far they've gotten. Looking at OpenDevin, which doesn't have any RAG at all. That's just prompt engineering and function calling, as I understand it, which is pretty insane that it's able to do all that stuff. But I think it will fundamentally, they will hit a ceiling very, very soon if they haven't already hit it. Where it just needs better conceptual understanding of the code base. Like when you prompt OpenDevin, as I understand it, it knows absolutely nothing. It has no abilities to build up conceptual context about the code base, or any of its dependencies. It will need to navigate, like the manually, kind of like do what you would do, like look at files and try to reason about what files should I change and so on and so on, which you can get pretty far with. But I think the power of these LLMs is that you can give them a freaking brain, right? Just like you as a senior engineer, or you worked on a project for 3 years, you have a shit ton of context in your brain, and that makes you really good at working on that project. If someone jumps in, never worked on that project before, you ask them to do something, and you would have to give a insanely detailed description of what they need to do, because they don't have the same context that you do, right? So you can't be ambiguous. You have to be very, very, very specific. And they also have to go and figure out a lot of stuff, look at a lot of files, and it takes much longer time to reason about what they need to do. But what we're trying to do here conceptually is we're trying to give this new person coming into the company the same shared context as you have, and then even better context, because the context we're building here is absolutely everything in the code base, and every single dependency. You will have like on the fly guide created for the specific implementation you're trying to do, right? So it's almost like if you were to manually go and make a change, and you know that it's that's what I thought about, like just having that dependency rag tool. You could be tasked as an engineer with doing something, and then you can just say, this is what I'm gonna implement in this code base, and then it will just generate a guide for you, like a generic guide on how to use the dependencies of this project to implement this thing. Like that's super, super powerful, which makes me super excited. So maybe this doesn't end up in an agent. Maybe it's just ends up in like a code rag tool and dependency tool, and yeah. But I think that would be the first thing I would want to try to build. It's like create guides on the fly, and you can imagine like putting that into like linear or something. So you create like a task to implement something, and just on the fly it generates a guide for doing that implementation in general based on the dependencies of the project. That is very interesting. Excuse me. Anyways, so that's me ranting about that. So let's try again. Oh, let's reset. Well, first of all, now we're at a place where I think we can actually commit our work here. What is it? I think we can like call this V1 or something, or rag the things. I'm so bad at this. Okay, so what else can we try? So let's try like implement Google authentication. So this is also like really good examples because Firebase is a dependency of this project. So if you were to ask, so that's kind of what my demo is going to be. It's, yeah, maybe we could just prepare my demo because we're gonna, yeah, let's, how much time do we have? Well, my demo is going to be persist the count in a database. That's the only thing the prompt's going to be. And then we're going to prompt like a general LLM for that and see what it does. And then we're going to add the code rag tool and see what it does. And then we're going to add the dependency tool and see what it does. And that should show like how important these tools are to be able to give these ambiguous prompts. Because that's the thing, it will be ambiguous. You can't get away from that. We are shitty communicators, humans. We don't know where our head stops and the rest of the world starts. Like it's one thing. But maybe we could try this. What I worry a little bit about is that it would well, it only has the ability to write files now. Yeah, and I'm also always writing in the project. Yeah, okay. So let's see if we can find a good way to run this demo. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're basically gonna create 3 versions of this. 3 agents. So let's call it, let's move this into agent response. Okay. So we are going to create a function for super agent async, and we're going to return, I'm going to return this. So that will be super agent. Yeah, so we're going to try my demo here. Yeah, we don't have to run it. So that is, oh, we don't have access to, oh, okay. Let's, where is code tool define? Let's put that into, oh, and then we need go rag and dependency rag. Okay, let's move that in there as well. Okay, so then we have cons agent response is await super agent. And then we're going to create another agent, which is going to have only the code rag. So this will be a simple agent. So I'm going to do this very simply by doing this. We're not going to do a lot of stuff out of this. And we don't have a dependency tool. Let's remove that. We still have the ability to read and write. Oh, I don't want this get project file structure anymore. I forgot about that. Let's remove that from both of them. it should know what paths it needs to read based on the code tool. That was kind of intention of extending the code tool or code rag to not need to like query the full file structure. So agent blah blah blah. So now we're gonna remove okay, so we're gonna, if the suggested change doesn't, and it is a new implementation, we're gonna just do this query. Yeah, 3, 4. And then we're gonna have shitty agent. Shitty agent, which doesn't have code rag either. No code tool. So you can just read files, write files. It cannot query this. We're just gonna do these two things. Well, we can't read any affected files because we okay, we can just write the suggested changes to the code base. Okay, this is going to be interesting. So let's try to run the shitty agent first. See if I can make my point. So, okay, we're doing a live demo here. Let's see. So what we want to do? Let's do something related to. Okay, let's say that we want to persist the count in a database. Persist the count in a database. So what does shitty agent say? Yeah. How should we like, of course it completely fails, but maybe we should change the instructions because we can't expect it to actually like, the point is that it can't really do anything. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna help it a little bit. So shitty agent to the project at workspace path. Okay. What you want to query? Persist the count in a database. Yeah, so this is just a path to the project. Can we help it some more? I would like it to write the suggested changes by creating a file in. Yeah, okay, we wanted to like actually create a file. Well, okay, we're gonna try something else. We're gonna actually remove the ability to read files because it doesn't have any project context. That's the whole point of this. So by removing the ability to read files, I think it will just go ahead and try to write something. Persist the count in a database. This is a really good demo. I think this says a lot about. I'm gonna make a YouTube video out of this as well. Oh. What did it do now? I think it tried to write it, but it should give an error. Oh, come on. Set a change to a new file in the project at, okay. Let's try again. Persist the count in a database. Yeah, I might actually record this. No. Oh. Oh, interesting. So it actually did create a file, I think. Or it tried to... Oh, suggested change. Wait, project workspace. Is it here? Suggested changes, MD. Oh, yeah, because I give an error. Okay, I'm not sure. Like, the point is that this is going to be shitty, but I was hoping to kind of give it... Oh, right, the suggested changes. Of course, it tried to create a markdown file. But the whole point of the shitty agent is that it's not capable of... how should we do this? What's like a good shitty response? Maybe I should just remove... Yeah, you know what? Well, I want it to be agent-like. I don't want it to describe... I want it to try to implement something. Okay, let's give it the ability to read, and then we're gonna write this to the project. So what if I tell it I want the count in source app tsx to be persisted in a database. Okay, so maybe that's the demo. Like, oh, why does it say that? Workspace project source. No such file or directory. Oh, okay. Write the suggested changes to the project. So now we shouldn't include this. Okay, sorry. Once more. Persist count in source app tsx in a database. What did it do? Okay, but I think this is fine if it does that. Like, it doesn't have any notion about the project, and this is kind of my point, is that it would say, yeah, like this is kind of the response I want. It basically just suggests some changes, like install either of these dependencies, set up backend API, front-end changes, state management. Like, it doesn't know anything about the project. And then we can try to do the same thing. So that's like part of demo 1. So that will be simple agent. And now we can do the same thing. What you want to query? Persist the count in a database. So now it's able to ask about the code thing. It's not there. And then we're going to list the files and directories that will be affected by the change. And it should try to implement something. Okay. Is this a README? Yeah. Not sure why it reads that, but that's the point. It's a simple agent. It doesn't know how to implement and retrieving and a new file database service handlers for. Where did it insert that? Oh yeah, I need to fix that. I want to make the writing of files to be like if in nested directories work. I should do that. I wonder what it implemented though. So the point is that now we actually get to a point where we where it can actually apply changes because it knows about the code, but it doesn't know the context of its dependencies, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually fix this. Write file sync. How do you make it node write add folder automatically? I think it needs a. Wait, what the hell? What's this? What's this? What the hell is this? I'm confused. What the hell is this? No write file, add folder, resume browsing. What the hell is this? I just want to search for it. It creates. Yeah, but I want to actually. Isn't there a. Yeah, FS extra. That's the thing, right? Thinking. What's the name is right? It override if the parent doesn't. It's created. Okay, let's just install FS extra then. Is it yarn we're using here? Yeah, yarn and FS extra. FS extra. Seriously, doesn't it have? FS write file sync. So this would be FS extra. Ah, come on, give me the typing. Come on. Output file sync. Let's just try this. Oh my god, why aren't you picking up my... So annoying. Write file sync. Write file sync. Write file sync. So that's all? Yeah, I think so. Write file sync. Okay, cool. Let's try it again. Oh. Ah. I can't believe this. Is there an alternative to this? I can't believe this. npm fs extra. Does it have a... No. It's file system methods that aren't included. It just uses to prevent... Okay, how do I actually make this thing work? Can I just do this? Cannot find... Why does it say that it can't find... Do I have to... Why do I have to install this? Why I can install it, it's not that, but why does it give that error? Okay, let's try. I don't like this. I don't like having to install... Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We're back at this fucking shit. Okay, let's drop FSX. I can't believe I'm in this world now where I can't use npm dependencies because of how they're... Let's see. Node. Do I have to do? Do I actually have to implement? You know what? ChatGPT. How can I write to a file in a nested folder where the parents does not exist? Where the parents are created automatically. Oh shit. Sorry, wanted it in TypeScript. Oh, is it that simple? Oh, my bad. Yeah, I guess that makes us lazy. Well, no, that's unrelated. Anyways. So import star SFS from node.fs. Yeah, and then we're going to use that. Write to nested folder. And then write the nested folder. Write the nested folder. Okay, let's try again. Wait, what? No, did it? I think it broke. I think it was a dependency issue. Like it was some non-matching dependency. No, did you fucking break? I can't believe this. I can't believe this. I'm so sick and tired of this. So installing FS Extra just completely messed up my dependencies. Oh, you're uninstall. Oh, thank God. Oh, this is too much for me. What do we want to ask? Persist account in a database. So the point I want to make here is that it should be able to figure out where to implement it, but it would just choose some random dependency. That's the idea. Let's see. So it made a change here. Where the hell is the services file? Did you try to write it? What the hell? It just didn't write it. Wait, read me? Oh, interesting. It updated the readme. Oh, what's the summary here? The changes have been, the following updates were made. Should be created to handle the, okay, interesting. Okay, but this is great. Like this is again, what did it do in update to include environment variable configuration? Okay, but that's great, right? This is also exactly what we wanted. So let's revert that. Let's revert that. Let's revert that one. And then we're gonna try super agent. So annoying that language server isn't picking up anything here. I guess, yeah, we'll just have to restart. So let's run super agent and let's ask it to do the same thing. persist account in a database. So now it asks the dependency ragtool to write a short general guide on how to implement that. Let's see. And of course, this is also part of like understanding that agents, they won't be good co-pilots. They need to run in their own environment and do things on behalf of you, on your behalf. On behalf of you. I think I mixed Norwegian in there. And they need time to do this. So it makes more sense to run these agents in the cloud as opposed to locally on your computer. Maybe you could maybe there's a solution where you kind of spin up some kind of like Docker environment it can play around in while you do other things, but you can't lock your laptop, right? And it stops. So yeah. Let's see what it does here. So add a Firebase configuration. Oh, who the hell is this? Oh, people trying to sell me shit. Okay, so it inserted Firebase, implement functions, read and write account to a Firebase real time, component modify the record to read the account from the database. The changes enable it to persist account. So now it did exactly what it was supposed to. It couldn't insert like this stuff. That's something you have to do. That's fine. It initializes it, goes and gets a reference, goes and get the count and sets the count, blah, 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 set new count. So yeah, so I think that's a good demo. It really shows like how these tools affect the LLM, how it affects like latency, and how it potentially needs to reason about things. Cool. I guess that's it for the stream for now. I'll probably stream a bit tomorrow as well, but I'm gonna make a YouTube video on this, just showing this demo, because I think it's interesting. And then let's revert this. Cool. All right. Thanks for sticking with it. We'll talk later. Bye for now.